I couldn't get the word out of my head. Forbidden. It sat there at the bottom of the folder like a loaded gun. Every time I opened my laptop, my eyes went straight to it. I hadn't clicked yet, but I knew I would. That's what finally drove me back to the library. I told myself it was just to return the book I'd checked out, but I think deep down I wanted answers. Or maybe I wanted someone to tell me I was crazy, that I'd imagined all of it. The library looked the same as always. Rows of books, quiet hum of lights, a student asleep at a table with his head buried in his arms. Ordinary, comforting. And behind the desk, the librarian. She looked up when I approached. Her eyes flicked briefly to my hands as if expecting me to be holding something. I set the book on the counter, forcing my voice steady. Hey, I think I found something here last week. A USB drive, black, just sitting on one of the shelves. For a split second, her expression cracked. It was tiny, but I caught it, the way her mouth pressed thin, the way her hand froze above the scanner. Then she forced a polite smile. We find things all the time. Students misplace them. I leaned closer. This wasn't misplaced. It was hidden between atlases, and I think you know what I'm talking about. Her fingers tightened on the edge of the counter. She glanced around, checking if anyone was nearby. The student at the table snored softly, oblivious. Then she lowered her voice. You watched them. My chest went cold. You mean the videos? She didn't answer, not directly, just stared at me with an intensity that made my skin crawl. You should stop. I can't, I whispered before I could stop myself. I think they're showing me things that haven't even happened yet. Her face paled, she shook her head sharply. That's how it begins, that's how it hooks you. You keep watching and it keeps watching back. I swallowed, my throat dry. What is it? Who made those videos? For a long moment she said nothing. Her eyes darted toward the ceiling corner where a dusty security camera hung. Then she leaned closer, her voice barely audible. Don't let it finish the last file, that's how it gets in. The words hit me like ice water. What do you mean, gets in? I asked, but she was already straightening, smoothing her hair, putting her mask of politeness back on. I'm sorry, she said in her normal tone, a little too loud. I can't help you. If you found something unusual, perhaps you should turn it over to the authorities. Her eyes didn't match her words. They begged me to leave. I stumbled out of the library, her warning echoing in my head. Don't let it finish the last file. But that only made me think about the last file more. Forbidden. What did it mean to finish it? Was it a test, a curse, a door that once opened couldn't be shut? The obsession dug deeper, twisting tighter. And I knew the next time I sat down at my laptop, I wouldn't be able to resist. I told myself I wouldn't do it. I swore I'd delete the drive, toss my laptop into the river, burn the whole mess before I ever let curiosity win. But you already know how this goes. Curiosity always wins. It was late, close to midnight. My room was quiet except for the low hum of the fan and the occasional groan of pipes in the walls. I plugged the USB in with shaking hands, the plastic feeling colder than it had any right to. The folder opened, and there it was, the last file. Forbidden. The name pulsed in my vision. My heart pounded. I hesitated with the cursor hovering over it, remembering the librarian's words. Don't let it finish the last file. That's how it gets in. But that word finish kept gnawing at me. Finish meant someone had started it before. Someone had seen part of it. Someone who hadn't made it through. And I wanted to know why. I double-clicked. The screen went black for a moment, and then it wasn't black at all. It was my desk. My laptop. Me. I froze, my breath caught in my throat. On screen, I sat exactly as I was sitting. Same clothes, same slouch, same faint light from the desk lamp. It wasn't old footage. It wasn't a recording from earlier. It was now. The cursor twitched. I glanced at my hand. My fingers twitched on the trackpad in perfect sync. It was a mirror, but not a mirror, a feed, a live feed of me. I whispered, "What the hell?" But the sound came back a fraction of a second too late, like an echo traveling through the screen. I wanted to slam the laptop shut, to end it right there, but I didn't. I leaned closer instead, watching myself lean closer in the exact same motion. And then something shifted. The me on screen didn't stop at leaning closer. His head tilted at a sharper angle, unnatural, like his neck had too many joints. My head snapped straight, horrified, but the screen me held the tilt, grinning just faintly. I swear I hadn't smiled. My chest tightened, a hot pressure crawling up my throat. I backed away, but the screen me stayed, grinning, tilting, waiting. And then movement. Behind him, behind me. I couldn't make out what it was, just a smudge of darkness in the corner of the frame. My real-life room was empty, but in the video, something was there, swelling against the shadows. My pulse roared in my ears. I wanted to turn around, to prove to myself that nothing was behind me, but terror glued me to the chair. The me on screen wasn't frozen, though. He slowly turned his head toward that shadow. And I heard it. Not through my ears, but through the laptop speakers. A rasp, like breathing made of static. "No," I whispered, this isn't real." The screen flickered. For one awful second, the feed zoomed closer, not on the shadow, not on my screen self, but on me, on the real me hunched over my laptop. The image stuttered, like someone was dragging the camera lens closer and closer until it filled with my terrified eyes. That's when the text appeared. White letters burned into the black between frames. "Don't turn around." I couldn't breathe. My entire body locked up. On screen, the shadow behind my double stretched taller, wider, pressing against the ceiling. My double's grin widened until the corners of his mouth split his cheeks. His eyes bulged, glossy and unblinking, staring straight at me. And then the words shifted. "You already let it in." I screamed and slammed the laptop shut. The fan in my room rattled as if shaken by the force. The hum of the pipe stopped, dead quiet, swallowing everything. I sat there in the silence, chest heaving, heart slamming against my ribs. The librarian's warning pounded in my skull. Don't let it finish the last file. But the file hadn't finished. It had cut to static. I hadn't seen what was fully behind me. And even as I sat there, gasping in the dark, I realized something awful. I wanted to know. I needed to know. I don't even know why I'm still talking into this. Habit, desperation. Maybe because the only way I can keep from screaming is to keep writing. To keep telling myself this is still a story, that it's still something I can control. But I can't control it. The feed, that file, didn't just show me. It's still showing me. Even with the laptop closed, I swear I can feel it buzzing, alive, waiting. The USB sits in the drawer beside me, humming in the silence like a caged insect. And I can't stop thinking about what the librarian said. Don't let it finish the last file. How many of you are reading this right now, nodding, thinking, "Oh, it's just another creepypasta. Just another story to scare yourself with before bed." You have no idea. You don't feel the way my stomach twists when the lights flicker, or the way my reflection lags in the mirror like it's buffering. If anyone, has seen something like this before, please tell me. Please leave a comment, a theory, anything. Because I know I'm not the first. I can't be. I searched. I stayed up all night combing forums, old boards, places that haven't been updated in years. Hidden corners of the internet where usernames rot like gravestones. And I found whispers, half-deleted threads about the archive. People talking about drives left in bus stations, airports, even tucked into the back covers of library books. Each story ends the same way, cut off mid-sentence, like the person never got to finish typing. I should have stopped reading, but I didn't. I couldn't. Every post I found was like a cracked mirror of my own. Someone describing footage of their apartment door. Someone else swearing the file had shown them sleeping. One user's last post just said, "It's in the room with me." No follow-up, no goodbye, just silence. And here's the thing that won't leave me alone. What if the videos aren't showing us? What if they're making us? Rewriting the world frame by frame until the footage becomes the truth. I've started testing myself, leaving notes around the apartment. Things only I'd know. A phrase written on the fridge in marker, a coin hidden under the lamp. And when I wake up, sometimes they're gone. Or worse, moved. Like the version of me inside the video is winning, step by step. I'm rambling. I know I am. I keep trying to sound rational, but it all slips sideways. It's late again. My hands won't stop shaking. And the longer I sit here, the more I feel it pressing in, like static bleeding through the walls. If you've made it this far, I'm begging you, tell me I'm not alone. If anyone else has found a drive, if anyone else has seen the archive, please say something. Because I don't know how much longer I can keep this contained. And if this post disappears, if my account goes dark, you'll know why. Wait. The screen just flickered. I didn't touch anything. I don't know how much longer I can do this. Every second feels like borrowed time. The lights keep stuttering, the fan keeps cutting in and out like it's syncing to something I can't hear. And when the screen flickers, it isn't just light anymore, it's faces. Quick flashes. My face. The USB is still in the drawer, but sometimes when I walk past it, I swear the desk rattles. Like something inside wants out. Like it's already halfway here. I've been watching my own reflection in the laptop, trying to catch it lagging again. Sometimes it does. Sometimes I see my mouth move a second too late or my eyes blink when I know I didn't. I tell myself it's just exhaustion, that I'm imagining things, but then I remember the footage, the forbidden file, the way it showed me not as I was, but as I would be. And that shadow, the one behind me, it's closer now. I can feel it. I keep thinking back to those old posts, the ones that ended mid-sentence. Maybe that's what happens when the file finishes. Not instant death, not some Hollywood jump scare, just absorption, a cutoff. One moment you're writing, confessing, begging for someone to listen, and then you're gone. If that happens to me, if this cuts out before I can finish, promise me you'll remember. Share this. Archive it somewhere safer than I did. Don't let it vanish like the others. Because I think that's the point. It doesn't just take people, it erases them. Swallows their story whole until all that's left is another corrupted file in another dusty place, waiting for the next idiot to plug it in. God, the screen is flickering again. I can see it out of the corner of my eye. A reflection, smiling when I'm not. I have to. Data corrupted. End of file.